All of the controversy regarding Dominion voting systems is but the tip of the iceberg. Here's the real villain. It's none other than Bill Gates and Microsoft. You see, Microsoft designed a software called Election Guard that's being used by Dominion, as well as Election Services, Hart InterCivic, Clean Ballot, Election Systems and Hardware, BPro, and Smartmatic. In other words, 100% of the voting machines and voting systems in this country are using the same software that Dominion has been caught using to switch votes. The denial by the mainstream media that there's any evidence whatsoever is ludicrous. The evidence is overwhelming and compelling.
So according to law, according to history, according to common practice, Trump is well within his rights. In fact, it's his duty to challenge a fraudulent election. It's we the people they're attempting to steal our sacred right and birthright of determining our own leaders from. Remember this 4 years ago. I keep showing this every day on the show. It hangs on the wall outside my office. Madam President, Newsweek reportedly printed 250,000 of these and said she was the president. Well, this year they just said, how about we just have all the controlled corporate media and have all these world leaders and all these people sit there and congratulate him as the winner, even though that's not how the law works, even though Hillary said we're going to contest, it's our right to contest, which it was, and then just gaslight everybody and say that that's the case. Held by this yardstick, they might as well just say that Hillary really won the election in 2020. And of course, if she's able to steal it, make no mistake, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were picked because they want one thing, status and money. They don't want to run nothing. Joe Biden and Kamala are known as, put me on private jets, give me money, give me palaces, give me caviar, give me sex, give me drugs, and I don't want anything else. The bottom of the barrel. That's all this is. And so it is 100% fraud. Complete. When they tell you that Trump's a dictator and it's unprecedented, what he's doing, all of it's a lie on its face. I'm not going to repeat all the evidence. Al Gore, 37 days, Supreme Court ruled against him. That's what Trump said. He said months ago, he said, bad stuff in Pennsylvania, bad stuff in Georgia. Hell, they had PBS documentaries a month before the election saying it's totally fraudulent with decertified machines in all these states. Oh, but the news is like, there's no evidence Dominion software and Smartmatic are bad. They've just been kicked out of all these other countries and all these other states because they've been caught in election fraud. It's like, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer's on death row for eating people. Like, oh, next you're going to claim Jeffrey Dahmer ate people. I mean, next you're going to claim that, you know, if you live in Florida by a pond, watch out, alligators don't eat your dog. You know, it's just what these criminals do. And then they sit there and gaslight us after Russiagate and the fake impeachment and all of it. And they just decided no Trump. You know, they say that, yeah, more than double the number of blacks voted for Trump than voted last time, and more than double Hispanics. Yeah, he got, but you know, and women voted for Trump more than last time. But oh, it was white men didn't vote for Trump. Oh, old dead white men, you mean? I mean, it's ridiculous. But they just go, no evidence of fraud, no evidence of fraud, no evidence of fraud. President-elect, we say so. And the media just declares him the winner when that's not how this works. Wow. Just like the COVID fraud is used to shut the economy down and blame Trump for COVID. It's already played you the FEC chairman coming out and saying there's massive evidence of election fraud. Here's Senator Kramer, Kevin Kramer, talking about the reality that, of course, Trump has the right to do this. Here it is.
But I'm going to use Senator Pat Toomey, your Republican colleague from Pennsylvania. Here's what he said last night after the decision came down to essentially throw out the president's lawsuit in Pennsylvania. With today's decision by Judge Matthew Brann, a longtime conservative Republican, whom I know to be a fair and unbiased jurist, to dismiss the Trump campaign's lawsuit, President Trump has exhausted all plausible legal options to challenge the result of the presidential race in Pennsylvania. I congratulate President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris on their victory. Do you concur with Senator Toomey that it is now over?
Chuck, first of all, again, thanks for the opportunity to be with you. And no, I do not, although I think it's very likely. But that said, I think again, I don't know why we're so easily offended by a president that's carrying out all of his legal options in court, not enhancing, or encouraging any riots or burnings of buildings or beating up of Democrats coming out of Democratic meetings or events. It's just a simple legal process. And really, there have not been a lot of evidentiary hearings that have involved the Trump case. There have been other hearings. I noticed that you used a number that was rather large of cases that have been thrown out or dismissed. But when it comes down to actually looking at evidence, there have not been many, if any.
Okay, the full 9-minute clip is at Infowars.com. I suggest you go watch it. Now, you heard him saying, yeah, it looks like it's unlikely Trump will win. Only because we're being conned. Just like they said Iraq had WMDs and they didn't. We're being gaslit. We're being lied to. That was an Obama judge that we knew was going to throw it out without even looking at the evidence in Pennsylvania. And that's what Trump's lawyers said. It's what I said, is it's going to the Supreme Court. What did Trump say 4 months ago with the vote-in ballot and the 80 million? He said it's illegal. They're going to stuff it. He's going to go to the Supreme Court. He's known this the whole time. So have we. How did we say 79 days of hell? How did we say this was coming up? Because it was all there. But the general public are spectators. They just watch things minute to minute, don't remember the last thing that happened. And real consciousness is remembering things, is having a continuity and understanding. So here's what I want to go over. I want to go to clip 5, Roger Stone, Bill Gates, Microsoft designed election fraud software used. Yeah, we keep talking about Dominion or Smartmatic, and they're bad, and they've been decertified most places. But a lot of the other companies are using Gates software that all over the world's been flagged and caught for fraud. I mean, Gates is involved in NewsGuard, telling you what news you can read. He's trying to be your doctor. He's trying to tell you got to take these vaccines. He's involved in everything. And now they've announced, Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister, that Bill Gates will tell him what to do and be his chief advisor when the UK takes over the rotating post of the G7. Incredibly important. So we talk about Bill Gates is your doctor, Bill Gates is your president. Hell, now Bill Gates, he'll be the most powerful G7 president. That's globalism. I mean, Bill Gates is a New World Order operative. He's making his move. He's the commander. He's the Darth Vader. I keep telling you that. Here's Roger Stone talking about it.
Roger Stone. All of the controversy regarding Dominion voting systems is but the tip of the iceberg. Here's the real villain. It's none other than Bill Gates and Microsoft. You see, Microsoft designed a software called Election Guard that's being used by Dominion, as well as Election Services, Hart InterCivic, Clean Ballot, Election Systems and Hardware, BPro, and Smartmatic. In other words, 100% of the voting machines and voting systems in this country are using the same software that Dominion has been caught using to switch votes. The denial by the mainstream media that there's any evidence whatsoever is ludicrous. The evidence is overwhelming and compelling. Whether Sidney Powell, a fine attorney who isn't given to making claims she can't back up in court, can bring a case without the cooperation of the Central Intelligence Agency and the FBI to come clean remains to be seen.
All right, folks, that's the stone cold truth. We'll be right back with more election fraud, what they're going to pull next, how to stop them. Then I'm going to shift gears into their larger plan.
J-Rock, the trucker in Miami, Florida. You're on the InfoWars War Room. Go ahead.
I learned a whole lot just from this right here, man. This was a life-changing experience for all of us, actually, and all the people that we met. You know, I met you guys. I came to the Washington, D.C. I met him at the restaurant. I ain't gonna say my real name, but J-Rock, the truck driver. It was amazing, man. All right, let me do a quick plug. Yo, the Turbo Force and the Superman Vitality. That took me the whole way. I got up around 4 o'clock in the morning, all the way till I left over there like about 9:34. I looked at the clock before I jumped in the Uber and went back to my truck. And yeah, Turbo Force, and I got some also the fish oil, and that's why I love you guys, man, because this right here, it shows me the products really work. It's not just all talk. You understand?
Well, I talk to truckers all day long, and they tell me the same thing. The Turbo Force is a godsend.
Man, it's amazing, bro, and how it really works, man. It really works, man. The X2, I put that couple drops in my water right there. That's like another little power mode thing right there, man. I'm from Miami, and that water down there, especially in the trenches, they don't give us that good water over there. So when I first got the X2, it really had me detoxing all that other stuff. But like after a couple of weeks, it kind of like it balanced the mind. It did something very special. So I really appreciate that. And man, you guys are some real deal patriots, man. It was amazing.
Well, thank you, J-Rock, and thank you so much for your support and the call. Wow, what a great call.